Hi guys, my name is Kim Zor. I'm with Hirose's marketing team, senior graphic designer. I'd like to welcome everyone to April product focus webinar. We're going to be talking specifically about circular connectors, LF series, HR30, and the HR10. Providing that insight today is Dave Gallagher. Dave is our product management director with Hirose Americas. Couple notes before we begin. We're going to have a Q&A at the end of the session. Feel free to place your questions in the chat box during the webinar. We'll answer all those at the end. Please keep yourself muted while the presentation is going on. And the presentation will be posted on the extranet this week if anyone missed it or wants to review the material again. So with that, let me turn it over to Dave.
All right, folks, got to make sure that I share it with the sound so you can actually hear the audio.
Joining. My name is Dave Gallagher, and I am the Director of Product Management for Hirose Americas. Our agenda today is focused on circular products from Hirose. Before we jump into the product families themselves, we will cover a few design considerations when selecting the perfect connector for your application. After that, we will highlight the HR10, the HR30, and the LF series products from Hirose. Finally, I will show a few common applications and even talk about some success stories related to those applications. Please feel free to drop questions in the chat box, and we will address those at the end of the presentation. Let's start off by talking briefly about a few design considerations when choosing a circular connector for your application. When we state IP67 or IP68, what we are referring to is the IEC 60529 standard. As standards go, it is, in my opinion, one of the most confusing to people when designing products. This confusion has led to many different explanations online, and honestly, some of those are actually not accurate. Hopefully my chart here will help you understand the ratings better. The IEC standard for degrees of protection was first released back in 1976. The standard received a few revisions over the years. However, much of it still remains the same and is used worldwide in connector enclosure designs. The IP system is broken into two significant numbers. The first significant digit refers to protection from solid objects like debris and dust. The second significant digit deals with water protection. When justifying the level of IP, it is important to understand where the product is being used. Up high on a tower, or maybe on a building, IP67 or 66 may be all that is needed. Down near the ground in a flood-prone area, IP68 rating will probably be a better choice. The last thing to note on IP ratings is to look carefully at the cable OD requirements on the connector. Having a cable that is too big or too small can drastically impact the performance of the IP seal. The question of crimp versus solder connections is something I do hear often. Some of our products offer both designs, and customers may struggle with deciding what is best. I usually like to break this down into a couple of basic questions. First, what is the volume being produced on the project? Soldering is easy to do and does not require any specialized tooling. Say for a prototype run, this may be the best choice. When pushing the volume higher, crimp contacts add the benefit of speed to the equation. There is also a bit more consistency in the crimp process, assuming the proper tools are used. The second question I like to ask is about the wire selection. With crimp contacts, the wire size, both the gauge and the insulation diameter, are critical to a successful crimp. Solder connections are a bit more forgiving on the wire size. So take a look at the wire options available and be sure that the requirements for both the connector and the application are met. There are three basic methods for latching a circular connector. The first is a threaded connection. Threaded connectors require multiple twists to complete the connection. I hear from folks in the field that it can be challenging to get consistent, secure connections. The second option is a bayonet-style connection. A simple quarter turn is all it takes to secure a bayonet-style connector. Many folks are familiar with, say, a BNC coax connector, which features this style. Our LF series is a great example of a bayonet circular product. And finally, the third option is a push-pull style connection. Just as it sounds, you push it on to attach and pull on the outer collar to release it. Both our HR10 and HR30 are awesome examples of push-pull style connectors. So let's jump into some of our featured products this month. Our first featured product is the HR10 series. This product is a simple push-pull design with a super compact metal shell. Hirose has carried this product for a long time and is a very large installed base of customers. The HR10 comes in many flavors, including panel-mounted, inline, and even a PCB-mounted version. We also offer both crimp and solder choices for their applications. A wide variety of pin configurations makes selecting the perfect fit for your application easy and fast. The HR10 is not a waterproof connector, so if you are looking for IP67 or IP68, you will want to check out our next product, which is called the HR30 series. The HR30 series is a compact and lightweight IP68 rated push-pull style connector. It has two shell sizes available and a variety of pin configurations. The HR30 is perfect for robotic sensors and motor control applications where a sealed connector is needed. This series is also available in both solder and crimp designs. We also offer a cool plug shell design for those looking to overmold their cable assemblies. The IP68 rating allows for submersion up to 2 meters for 14 days. Our final featured product is our LF series. This IP68 rated bayonet style connector features a rugged metal housing. Just like our HR30 series, the LF products are capable of submersion 2 meters for 14 days. Customers really appreciate the simplicity and security of a bayonet style latch. Operators can easily operate the latch even with gloved hands. This series is available in 3 different shell sizes and a variety of pin configurations. We even have a hybrid power and data design supporting up to 10 amps of current on 4 pins, while at the same time 7 additional contacts that support data. We also have a non-conductive black chrome housing option for those looking for the absolute best in salt corrosion performance. So let's talk a little bit about applications and maybe some success stories that we've had. When we talk about circular connectors, typically the first thought is outdoor applications. And while it is very true, there are many places you will find circular connectors. Robotics is a rapidly growing market with automation a leading driver of industrial spending. Robotic equipment can be found in harsh environments, both outdoors and even indoors. Robotic devices have many areas where we can see circular connectors. Things like machine vision cameras frequently feature Hirose's HR10 series connectors for their PTZ controls. Actually, the industry adopted the HR10 decades ago as the de facto standard, and even today's cameras still have the connector installed. You can also find external sensors and even motor control systems using our HR30 series that maybe feature CAN bus, or they can also use our LF series if they're looking for that bayonet style latch. Medical devices are another growing industry. Depending on the size of the device, our HR30 and LF series products are often found. The ultra lightweight HR30 is super easy to use even for an untrained person. The metal-bodied and shielded LF series is great when there are concerns about EMI or RF interference. As system designers are challenged more and more to get products into difficult environments, they will be glad to learn about the great features and benefits of choosing the most reliable connectors for their next application. With over 80 years of experience in connector design and a global team that interacts with customers firsthand on projects. Customers have come to trust the Hirose name for all their critical applications in industrial, medical, and robotic equipment. I hope you learned a little more about the Hirose Advantage, and I look forward to our next opportunity to work together. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody, for watching that short little video clip. I see a couple of questions that have popped into the chat box. Certainly do know that we can go over questions from that are in there. So if you have something that you have in mind, feel free to drop it into the chat box. So let's just jump right to that. I see a question talking about the hybrid 10 amp per pin 4 contacts. It's in the LF13 shell. If you're not familiar with that connector series, it's asking about, let's see, oh, somebody already answered the question. Thank you very much. Yes, it is available. It is 4 pins of power and 7 pins of data on that connector. I've seen this specifically used in motor control applications, CAN bus on the data pins and the power to drive the motor. I'll call them light or medium duty type motor applications. Vibration data, that's another question someone's asked in there. There is vibration information right in the catalog. We can certainly provide that information to you. We'll make sure that goes out with the information on the presentation. Absolutely. Additional questions? It's only about a 10-minute video here today, so it was very short. If you want to speak your question and not necessarily type it in, you can go ahead and unmute your mic if that works best for you.
You're just so intimidating, Dave.
Apparently.
I know.
Well, great job, Dave. If that's the end of the questions, we really appreciate you joining us. Look forward to next month.